congratulations to UCLA. They've really put themselves in a position where they're playing really good softball on all phases of the game. I think I'd have to say they're about as complete a team as we've played, and we've played a lot of good ones. And, they executed in all phases of the game. They're well coached. They play the game the right way. Really have a lot of respect for them and their players. Thank you to all the people that put on the event. It was well organized, and communication was great. It's what college softball is all about. The atmosphere was amazing. Ultimately the outcome is what it is, but at this point we'll celebrate the seniors that we've had and the season that we've had, and we'll spend the rest of our night and weekend talking about the good times and the memories that we've created together.
Questions?
Hi, Coach. Congrats on a great season.
Thank you.
You saw Taylor Tinsley throughout high school pitching camps with UGA, and tonight she ended your season. But just what have you seen from her? And you saw her earlier this season as well, just as a pitcher, and how did you guys adjust from seeing her early in the season to now?
Well, on the adjustment part, not well, obviously. But I just remember her as a freshman, for Walton Academy throwing down at the state tournament and just being one of the most competitive people in the park. And so, she continued to be a great competitor through the rest of her prep career, and then, has really blossomed here from a stuff standpoint. Like her pitches have grown. She's stronger. Her velocity's better. But she's still the same competitor that we saw when she was a ninth grader. And, I have a lot of respect for Taylor and her family. And, this was her moment. And she shined tonight. And, I have nothing but respect and congratulations to her.
Haley, go ahead.
Yesterday you talked a little bit, about momentum. So where do you go from here to kind of create some momentum for next season, or maybe the off season too?
Well, momentum is a long ways away. I would love to say we could start it tomorrow and just run it through the World Series for next year. But the truth of the matter is UCLA didn't have it at the beginning of the season. Momentum's a window of time. We'll work on next year, at the appropriate time. Right now, we're going to focus on our seniors and our people and, loving them up for the rest of the time we have them. And then we'll get to work on next year. I'm excited about, the returning players that we have, the players that we have coming in, the recruiting that we've done. And, I think Georgia softball is going to be just fine, for the foreseeable future. But tonight's UCLA's night, and we're going to celebrate our seniors, and that's what we'll focus on.
Lindy Ray, in that vein, what are you most proud of this season that you guys had, and what will you kind of remember the most?
Like you said, this 10 seniors we have, that's a lot of seniors, and I'm just proud of every single one of them, and just the way that they all competed. I think a lot of times we had our backs against the wall this year, more than once, and the way we just competed when the times were tough just says a lot about our team. It says a lot about our seniors, and so just incredibly proud of them, and just leading our team and just being a force. 10 of them, it's a lot, and so all of them have just played an important role for our team.
And just building on that, Coach, what has the senior class meant to you when you huddled up and had a chat with them?
Yeah.
What have they meant to you?
They're just good kids, good people that have grown. We all have shortcomings that we're trying to overcome in our life. And, you have to tackle some of those things head on. And, I think the beautiful thing about college softball and what I hope that Georgia softball is it's a safe place to grow in as a person. And softball's the vehicle that we get to use to try and become that person that we want to be. And what I see is Jada Kearney come from a 13-year-old little girl to a strong and confident, 22, 23-year-old. What I see is Sarah Mosley is, gone through some hardship in her life, and to see her grow and become a teammate and the player that she is and all of that. I see all of their individual stories. The outcomes are the outcomes. In our profession, in our softball game, we're led to believe this is the most important thing in the world. It's like President Biden and then Tony Baldwin. That's like the order of importance. And the truth of the matter is I coach softball and I get to invest in young women and be a part of their life at an important time. I got into coaching because I had a coach invest in me at an important time in my life, and it, set me on a path. If I can be that for these young women, then, the outcomes will take care of themselves. So I see their stories. I see the work that they've put in, the growth that they've made. And, I look at somebody like Sydney Kuma. Nobody in her high school had ever gone on to play Division I athletics, let alone softball. I think her high school had like a 35% dropout rate. Yet she went across the country. Not only did she flourish on the softball field, but she's graduated, and she set herself up for the rest of her life as a young woman. That's what this is all about. I would have liked to had some more hits and maybe scored some more runs tonight. But at the end of the day, it isn't going to change the fact that they've grown a lot. I'm incredibly proud of them. I love them to death, and I'm looking forward to giving them one more hug before it's all said and done.
For both of you, the Bulldog faithful showed up big in the fans, in the stands for both yesterday and today. How important is that for you guys to have, people travel all the way to Southern California?
Yeah, I think it's it's part of what makes college athletics great, and certainly what makes it great at a place like Georgia is that we've got a great fan base. Bulldog Nation is behind us. We had record crowds this year. We set all kinds of different records, and I hope that's because people can connect with the program that we have and the way that we do it, and they see that our players, work hard. They are incredibly proud to represent the G, and they give it the best that they can every time out there. And we certainly appreciate the support, and very thankful.
Like you said, Bulldog Nation is one of the best. We always travel everywhere we go. It also helps when you have Sydney Kuma and Riley Orcutt who are in their backyard. So we've had a lot of their friends and family here. But, we have such an important – I feel like this is a family. And, Bulldog Nation is a family, and they have our backs wherever we go. And it's been like that all year. So
I'll take questions from the Zoom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Congratulations on a heck of a season. I know you've talked about them a lot, but where do you think the senior class has impacted the program the most?
I don't know. That's for other people to probably talk about a legacy or whatever. We've had a lot of good teams here at Georgia, and what I'm proud of is, they made a World Series run when they were young. They've competed their tail off. They're littered throughout the record books. All of those things that people on the outside want to glorify, they've done some of those. They've been All-Americans. They've won big games. They've played on TV and won. We've won a couple regionals, and we've played, done some of that kind of stuff. But, ultimately, they're defined a lot more than just their outcomes, and the mark that they've left is that they've showed up and gave their all for the G every time they had an opportunity, and that's all you could ever ask for.